rebuild of the faith, south side or the north side. Not tuned to the greatest. Home team for the home teams. Both sides got our own rings. On the mound or the long ball. But we don't put the wrong strings. Yeah. It's that time of the year now. Wrigley or guarantees for the whole league that we hear now. New show with a new mood. Discussions and interviews. Trade rumors that might be. This is Pinwheels and Knife. Yeah.
All right. Well, if you found the show, we appreciate you. We know Elon and his 8 employees are working to get Twitter back up and running, but we fully understand that Twitter is down right now. But the tweets are out. You guys ready to go?
Yep.
Yeah, that's right.
All right. And 3, 2, 1. What's going on, everybody? It is Thursday, December 29th. This is our last show of 2022. And you have found the Pinwheels and Ivy podcast. I am your host, Matt Swaski, a.k.a. Southside Zoe, a.k.a. Father Zoe. And with me, as always, is Mr. Aldo Soto.
So I'm starting to wonder, what has better longevity, Twitter or Carlos Correa's leg?
Ooh, that's a tough one. That's actually a really tough one. The good Reverend K-Fids.
I'm just really asking myself right now if I should use the trending hashtag small dick energy right now, because that is currently the hottest hashtag, and that might help us get us some viewers.
Actually, tweet it with hashtag Twitter down.
But I did Twitter down too. I did Twitter down. Afrochella is also one.
Tweet out the YouTube link and be like, how
Hooters
to
is
fix your
trending.
Twitter.
Hooters is trending.
Yeah, Hooters is trending. And when Mitch turns 18, we'll take him there. What's up, NASCAR Mitch?
I'm looking forward to my visit to Hooters.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, and Mitch, because this is your first time, we are in peak off-season podcast season. Now, we have been a little bit blessed. That's right, buddy. You drink it up. We've been a little bit blessed with a lot of, actually, this is pretty deep in the off-season for us to hit this mark. Stuff has been going. We've actually got a little bit of news to talk about at the beginning of the show, but we did open up the floor to all of our listeners and followers on Twitter to see what they wanted us to talk about, and we got a really good list. I feel pretty good about where this is going to go, because it could definitely lead to some goofy ass discussions. And the good thing is we are professionals in goofy ass discussions. So
I minored in college in that goofy ass discussions.
With all that being said, let's tap this keg. As always, this show is brought to you by Sports Mockery, sportsmockery.com. Turn on push notifications, so be the first person to know when the Bears season is finally over and the pain and misery is done. Sports Mockery, sportsmockery.com. Also brought to you by Uncle Bud's, 9600 South Cicero. They do have, for New Year's Eve, they're doing a college football special from 3 to 7. So you can go there and get tuned up before your New Year's Eve party. As long as you're taking an Uber, don't be a dick. And they got good specials for that. And then they're actually, after 7 o'clock, they're having a New Year's Eve party till 2 a.m. And then they got New Year's Day specials as well. Been hearing nothing but really, really, really great things about the food. I actually got an Uncle Bud's gift card for Christmas. Let's go.
Is it from Uncle Bud?
No, he's very deceased.
Oh,
Yeah, Uncle Bud's, 9600 South Cicero. Go check them out. And if you're looking for something to do for New Year's, or if you just want to watch college football and get tuned up, they're your spot. Actual baseball news to start the show. I'm going to start with you, Mitch, because
Pour one out.
you pour one out for your article the other day, huh, bud? Hope you didn't spend too much time on that. Gene Segura.
Had Sox fans buzzing.
Had Sox fans buzzing. Had Mitch buzzing over there.
I was buzzing.
Yeah, you had. It looked like you were smuggling diamonds under your shirt talking about Gene Segura for a little bit. Gene Segura decided to sign with the Marlins. My question to you, is Jazz Chisholm available?
My guess is no.
Damn it.
Chisholm is very overrated too, and I don't know what we're doing.
Whoa.
I mean, my thing.
Just because you're hurt doesn't mean you got to take me down with you, buddy. Don't say mean things now.
Well, the difference between the two is Gene Segura was available without having to give up any of the limited assets we already have in our farm systems.
I agree. That I definitely agree with.
I mean, look, I have my doubts about Oscar Colas and Wright, but I'm like, one, rookie, you can overcome that. Two, unproven rookies in the starting lineup when you're supposedly contenders, that's a little bit more of a problem, especially when the guys that are lined up to be the second baseman, and Lenin Sosa and Romy Gonzalez, were pretty terrible in their limited sample size last season. So that doesn't inspire a whole lot of confidence. They're not like high-rated prospects either. And Gonzalez is scrappy, I guess, but he's a bench player at this point in his career. He's not a starter. Out of all the second basemen available in an already thin market, Segura was by far the best available. The next highest guy in terms of WAR from last season was Josh Harrison. So if you're not going to go out and try and get Gene Segura, then like why the hell did we not tender Josh Harrison? Because our second basemen stink. That made me.
They definitely stink, and it's a little disappointing that the White Sox couldn't match 2 years, $17 million.
Like that's nothing.
No, not in a position of dire need. And if anyone else comments Tommy LaStella in the comment section, I'm going to punch Mitch in the nuts for every time someone says LaStella.
Stella.
You guys probably saw that story at the Sun-Times. Like they were basically like, yeah, you guys got your big free agent. Be happy. There's nothing else.
It wouldn't have even been that big. Like you said, like for the contract he got, that's like right in their wheelhouse. You get a little pop there. I don't know. It made too much sense for the White Sox to do it. That's why I wasn't optimistic they would. But like, if you're serious about like trying to improve the roster, that was the only guy you could have gotten without having to trade anything.
This is the only time I will say Lurie Garcia is better than the guy that's available. Lurie is better than LaStella. What was the stat? I know you're on a plane, Beef, and first of all, that's awesome that you're.
Yeah, Beef has better Wi-Fi on his Southwest flight than I do at my house.
Mean Gene.
There's no way he's on Southwest because he would be
that flight would be
I can say that yes, this is true. Having flown Southwest yesterday.
Oh yeah, that's right. I'm glad you're home, buddy. I was following your travel follies.
Only 1 hour delay. Now, if you have analytics, you guys are into analytics. So if you really average together the departure and then the arrival back home, it was a 9-hour delay to get to New Orleans and then a 1 hour delay to get home. So it was really a 5-hour delay.
Yeah, at least you're going to New Orleans.
That was actually.
I followed along with you. It looked like you were having a good ass time.
It was good. I was telling you guys, Pat O'Brien's is a great place to go for fun.
Oh, here I found it. Oh, he is on Southwest. There you go, Beef.
You can get $8 for internet. That's how I was chatting with you guys yesterday.
Yeah, Beef. They must have knew you were a celebrity. Here's the stat on LaStella: -0.8 F WAR in 195 plate appearances.
Bad. That is
2022.
That is bad. That is not a lot of playing time either.
Dude. I mean, you got to be like trying.
That's like less than
a
third of the season.
That is brutal, dude. Holy shit. That's why Mitch gets a nut punch for every time someone says LaStella in the comments. Sorry, Mitch. Those are the rules.
It's gonna be a long night.
Yep.
Well, Kevin, you know what this White Sox offseason is reminding me of? This is like 2019 or 2018-19 Cubs.
Yep.
Their big move was Cole bringing back Cole Hamels for $20 million, and then nothing else.
Mm-hmm.
White Sox got Andrew Benintendi, so they addressed one area of need, and they're like, all right, we're just hoping everybody is good again.
We'll get to the next part next year. It's
cool. It's cool because our new hitting coach is going to tell him to put the ball in the air.
I mean, hey, I'm a sucker for the quotes, but I love them.
If they ever would have read Twitter, like half of the fan base was telling them to put the ball in the air. So I don't think it's that.
Yeah, and put some respect on Mike Clevenger's name too.
Oh yeah, Clev. Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
Oh, dude,
Mr. Hand. You get 2, which is just only 2 more than the Cubs.
Cubs had Cole Hamels. I think they're literally their other big free agent that year was our favorite second baseman Daniel Descalso.
Yeah.
2 years, $5 million.
We as Sox fans wanted like the G.I. Joe with the Kung Fu grip, and we got like the Taiwan knockoff.
No, it's like asking for that He-Man, the
G.I.
He-Man Mountain, and instead you got Mask, Thunder Mountain. For those of you that are old enough, you would get Thunder Mountain from Mask instead of the He-Man. Remember the He-Man Castle Grayskull where you had like the puppet that would come out of the gate too. You could slime people with it.
You got G.I. Lenine.
Instead you got GoBots instead of fucking Transformers.
G.I. Steve.
Dude, remember how hyped we were for Lenine Sosa?
Yeah.
When it first broke that he was going to come up, and then Tony La Russa didn't play him.
Yep.
And then he was kind of bad.
Look at this man. Now tell me this isn't a pal. Man is
there. It is
thousands of feet in the air on an airline that's hanging on by a thread, and he still wants you to smash the like button.
If Beef is smashing our like button from that elevation, are we in the Mile High Club with him?
I think we just did. Yep. I feel tingly.
Like,
I felt something.
The
I feel
other
used.
the other bit of
Sold.
baseball news is Steve Cohen's going to buy Carlos Correa a robot leg.
He's really he's friends with the guy from Grandma's
I
Boy.
want to say,
Thank you.
Number
You
one.
I've been waiting for someone to get that reference. Thank you.
I have metal legs.
I want to
metal-
apologize to the San Francisco Giants
Yeah. Go
for
ahead.
making
Sorry,
fun of them
We're 5.
because it turns out that Carlos Correa's leg is a concern for everybody.
So hold on now. Let me get this straight though. So this is an injury that happened to him a long time ago, correct?
Like
It
2012.
happened, I think
or
it happened. Yeah,
2013.
so right after he was drafted.
So
I
like the
think he was
same
in the
year
minor
Mitch was
leagues
born.
with the Astros.
Nobody's had concerns with this.
Sorry, Mitch. I don't know why I'm picking on your age today, but
Yeah. Nobody's
Yeah.
had concerns with these things and anything else other than now when there's bigger money at stake, apparently.
well, did
I
you
get-
guys see
I
the
kinda get it,
TikTok
though.
doctor?
Oh, that I mean, I think that guy was trolling, right? That was
Oh, I thought that was legit.
Oh, the guy messing around with like his ankles and stuff.
Like
I can
his-
take a
how
it
picture
was
of
a
him.
meme. I think it was a meme. Yeah.
Well, there was a
Oh,
guy that was doing a TikTok too that was like breaking down, like, look at his ankles, they're turned in.
Yeah,
And
no,
it's
it was that one.
Yeah.
I think
Random
that
still
was. I think that
photograph.
was a meme.
First of all, I get all my medical advice from TikTok. So
There are some Cubs accounts that have a large following that were retweeting it and talking about buying into what that guy was saying. When I can actually show you a picture of a pitcher throwing a baseball and tell you that he's dislocated his arm.
right,
If you
I
take
think
every
the-
picture of Chris Sale ever.
I think it is fair though for like why it's coming up now, because it's not like a 5-6 year deal. It's not a 7-year deal. It is like
right,
a
I get it.
12-year deal.
But everyone's so
So-
hung up on these years, though.
No,
it's just-
Kevin,
it's
I'm not
just
talking
AAV.
about. I'm talking about why they care. Like, if they're going to invest so much money, is because they'll be like, okay, but we don't want it to be like 2000, or we don't want Carlos Correa to be 33, and like he's already having the leg injury.
Well, here's the thing, though, too.
Because then they
is-
still have 7 more years with.
it's not about the years, though. Like, I think we need to stop throwing out these years. I think it's a concern with investing that much money in general because let's be honest, Carlos Correa is not a $26 million a year AAV guy. He's taking that 26 AAV to stretch it over 13 or 12 years. And that's just the discount so that the team can not get blasted with the luxury tax all at once. It doesn't matter. It's all the guaranteed money. That's all it is. It's guaranteed money that they're worried about. But the fact is, he's still going to sign a 7 or 8 year deal, but now it's going to be like a $35 to $38 million deal. That's the next part because he's still going to be if years are so terrifying, even though the guaranteed money is guaranteed money, whether it's 13 years or 5 years, it's the same. I just think that they're going to split it down the mean, and I think that I think the Mets are going to end up. They're going to close the deal on this. I think it's going to happen. I think that everyone's so hung up on years.
I don't think they can get out of it at this point.
No, but the years are. But it's not the years though. It's the AAV. It's the grand total of guaranteed money.
Right,
That's what.
right. No,
that's,
like
everyone
you said,
keeps using years, but it's
the
not.
money. But like, there's a difference why like the Twins didn't care when they signed it because it was only a 3-year deal. Or like
Right. And
they
they
were
knew
only
the
going to pay
outcome
him for
was
1 year.
And they knew
it was coming. Yeah,
literally
everyone
everyone that's watched an inning of baseball knew he was playing 1 year for the Twins and leaving. I don't know.
He did tweak it though in the game late in the season. Kerry, good point. It wasn't an issue last year because he tweaked it late in the season this year, and he made a comment about it and said he got a little tingly and it scared him for a second. And that is what's been blown into like. That's what everyone's assuming is the shit. They're assuming it's that injury with the plate in his like a plate in there, and so he might, and maybe he has to get the plate. Maybe readjusted, like you said. You might get the Cohen metal legs. I mean, you might finally get that titanium Lieutenant Dan legs, and you'll be happy. He's good to go. So I don't.
Yeah,
I mean,
I opening day. Carlos Correa is going to be playing third base for the Mets.
mhm.
Yeah.
By August, they'll have a giveaway promotion. Correa. Replica.
Yeah,
Silver.
Correa replica metal legs.
Oh my god, that's a great.
It's like
you're gonna make
Forrest-
money off of this.
It's like Forrest Gump, like little baby Forrest Gump with the little metal brace. Like, oh shit! That'd be hilarious.
Baseball kids across the country will be playing with their brand new Correa legs.
All right. Well,
Made by Mattel.
besides Corey Kluber going to the Red Sox, that's pretty much it for baseball news.
Hey, that's
Nathan Eovaldi's the Rangers.
The Rangers got a good fucking
Yep.
rotation. But as I mentioned, it's off-season podcast season, so we already talked about Segura.
I was pissed off about it.
Thanks for showing up on time, Kerry.
He was watching the Oregon game on the.
I know. I'm just
that thing
fucking
called-
around. Everybody knows I love Kerry. So
I should use that though. I like it.
You guys can
we
still trade for Madrigal.
I swear to God, if I hear one more jackass on Twitter, say the White Sox are taking Madrigal.
well, then you just need to unfollow Aldo, bud.
You might want to mute him for a little bit.
I haven't brought up Madrigal to the White Sox
So
And I've never said that either.
besides
Like,
the
that's
show.
weird.
we're going to do this in order of in which they were received. First one. Can you touch on who you think will be the next 7 teams that will get City Connect jerseys and hats, and talk about your favorites of the City Connects so far? Well, Mitch.
You're the jersey guy and hat guys.
Yeah, I am, but I have my thoughts. But Mitch, you're wearing the gear. So let's start with who's your favorite one so far?
Surprisingly, it's the White Sox.
Very surprisingly.
I know I carry some bias with me, but honest to God, I think most of the City Connects have kind of sucked. That's why I don't really care who gets the
All
next.
right.
Most of them that have come
You
out.
can't say the White Sox. Who's your favorite City Connect?
Miami's was decent, I think.
I did like Miami's. Unfortunately, though, if you wear the Miami ones outside of Miami, you're probably gonna get shot. Like if you wear the Miami one with the crown and shit in some neighborhoods in Chicago, you gonna die.
There you go.
So it's not a very global accepting one. Like if you
Yeah, I
wear
mean,
that
my
shit,
only other answer. I mean, the Padres were all right, I guess. Most of them have stunk. Like they haven't been good. I'm not that excited. The White Sox have by far the best City Connect.
okay, fair enough. All right, although Fidge, you can't say Cubs. Which one's your favorite City Connect?
Sure,
I don't
because that's
think
my
you
favorite.
would
But my favorite uniform, or just like
the City Connect ones.
oh, Colorado, absolutely. I freaking love the Colorado ones.
I like
With the Rockies on the chest and the green, and then because it's obviously think about it. I mean,
the mountains.
the blue belt. You got your. Oh yeah, I dug them a ton, especially when they're high socked. I liked those a lot.
Okay. And then Aldo.
I'm out on City Connect jerseys. I think the Rockies one was the last one where I was like, okay, kind of like it. The Padres one, like Mitch said, like the tropical colors. But overall, like the next ones that come out, I probably won't have a strong opinion either way. I don't know.
Well,
Too many City Connect jerseys. Too many different jerseys.
We'll get to the ones
Can
that
we all agree though that the Giants had the worst ones? No,
I didn't like Boston's. I get the
Wasn't theirs the yellow one,
connection,
the
but those look ugly.
the Dodgers were basically just Dodgers
the
uniforms.
Dodgers were terrible. It just said Lost Dodgers. Los Dodgers.
The most lack of creative.
Okay, so as our resident Jersey hat guy, Mitch is correct. The White Sox do have the best ones, jersey-wise, especially.
Overrated.
The
So hold on, how
jersey-
are you guys allowed to choose the Sox, but we can't choose
No,
the
but
Cubs?
I'm
You
not
can
saying
choose-
that's I'm saying. Hold on, I'm just telling you.
You'd be wrong.
So the Sox have the best jersey, not the best hat. I think the hat was a little uninspired. The best City Connect hat, I think, is a tie between the Nationals and the Padres. The Nationals had that real classic gray one with the W and the pink flowers or whatever. That's like big in Washington, D.C.
Looked
And-
ugly.
And then the Padres had the highlighter green hat. The Boston ones, I like the jersey mainly because of the story, the Boston Marathon, the yellow. Like that one had like some teeth. That was a good story. The Diamondbacks was lame. The Astros suck. Space City, blow me. The hat was actually kind of cool though for the Astros. Got to admit that hat kind of fucks.
He was right.
the-
The ones are pretty cool.
The Angels, I think were
I
sneaky
did like
good.
the Angels. I did like the Angels.
The Angels were sneaky good. I like the Angels jerseys. The hats were a little uninspired. They just literally changed the color scheme on the hat. That was one I didn't buy.
I dug Houston's color scheme and
I
the
just-
High Sox. If you look at the High Sox are sweet. The ones that go like they're like orange and then they kind of like transition to like almost like a yellow, going like a
The-
rocket, being like
Trey
Yeah.
Mancini looks so good in
Space
Houston.
one.
In the Houston uniform.
Houston.
I played
Those-
16 inch. I've born and raised on the south side of Chicago. I played 16-inch softball since I can walk. Milwaukee literally just took a 16-inch softball team's uniform.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
Diamondbacks are interesting.
I've seriously played against teams with that exact. I was looking through old pictures. I wore that jersey, a shirt that said Brew Crew on it, like that, when I played 16-inch many moons ago. But the Giants was dog shit. The Royals were very simplistic, and like I know everyone has the story with the fountains and all. I never really felt the Royals. It was the blue on blue with the white. Just didn't really feel those ones. The Cubs were cool, I guess. I don't know. It's cool. You picked a neighborhood, not
The
an
the
entire
Cubs
city.
the Cubs like the
Um,
uniforms after they look better after the fact.
They did
Like when they
that.
first came out, they looked horrible, and then you get them on Nico Horner wearing them. It's like, all right, they're okay.
I don't like San Diego's jerseys. I like the hat. I don't like the jersey.
Fair.
Washington's jerseys were decent. Miami shit was cool. Like I said though, I couldn't buy it because
Just save it for your trips to Miami.
yeah, I guess.
You don't like those green pants the Colorado's that Rockies wore though? Those green pants.
I really, really like the Rockies jerseys. I like the white belt with the green pants too. I just hate the hat. The hat sucks.
That's fair.
And as you guys can tell, I'm a very big hat uniform guy. So like I had my opinions on all this. So, but the White Sox have the best jersey in my opinion. Just the whole south side with the lettering and the black with the white pinstripes, very classic, but had like the newer. I like the font they chose. That was good. I like Colorado's color scheme though. That evergreen green with the white belt. That's
love that. I love green. There's so much you could do with that.
I'm biased, but I kind of like the White Sox hat.
Well, no, I own it too. I mean, it's right over there, but it's a good hat. It's just
I know.
Yeah. As far as cities that I think are gonna get it next, I gotta think Seattle, man. An Emerald City. Like
Baltimore. Baltimore can be sneaky good, I think.
Baltimore could be pretty good. I think Philly they have some things that they can do with theirs, because I know that a lot of these, some of them are brand new concepts, like the Rockies was a brand new concept, but some of these, like the Angels went classic.
Yeah.
I feel like the Phillies would do like a classic, maybe get back into that powder blue uniform, which was sick.
Feel like the Yankees could have something cool, but they're just going to be the most boring shit ever.
The Yankees would be terrible. It would say like the Bronx or some shit like that, and it would piss me off, and it would just suck.
It's just gonna be an off gray hat.
Yeah,
just the same logo.
Seriously, that's what it's gonna be.
Do that though, like how long? They still don't put names in the back of the jerseys. So
yeah, I don't think
we're going back to our 1932 World
Series. I really
Series.
think this season though, you're gonna get a Mariners because they're a young, good team.
You got to get a Mets. You got to get a Mets this year with all the pub they're getting. You're gonna get a Mets one. You
probably get well, if you get a Mets, you're gonna get a Yankees. It's gonna be like when they did the Cubs Sox.
Did the Twins have one yet?
No, and who cares?
You like their new uniforms, though.
I do. Yeah, they're not gonna get a City Connect. They just got new uniforms. They're not gonna add another one. I can see maybe the Braves.
Guardians, maybe.
The
Braves.
The Braves getting one, but they got to tread lightly there. Yeah, they got to tread lightly there. I don't think they'll give Cleveland one because of the name change, and they basically just got new uniforms. Rangers could get one.
Ooh, that's a good one. Yeah,
Rangers could get a pretty cool one because
the A's could have such a cool one, but no one cares about the A's right now.
No one will be there to see it.
No one will care.
Pirates have some color.
They'll wait till the A's go to Vegas before they give them a City Connect.
Watch them get like what? It's gonna be like Moneyball.
Yeah, that'd be dope. If their hat. I actually saw a mock-up. I think it was for the A's going to Vegas, and it was like the A logo with like a pair of dice. Fizz, did you send me that?
I sent that to you, a while back.
Dude, I was like, right away I replied. I was like, take my money. I will buy that hat.
Yeah. If they do move to Vegas, I mean, they got some really fun stuff to play with if they come here because you could
find that
sign like on their shirt too around it,
but
I don't know if that's gonna happen yet. But it's kind of
hopefully that answers your question. I think Svo's on that, but
so
for teams that I think will get it 100%, I think it'll be the Marlins. I do think you guys are right, or the Mariners, and I think you guys are right. I think they'll do a New York one, like a Subway Series type one. I would love to see like the Braves, the Rangers.
And they haven't made this. I hate to interrupt, but they haven't made this yet, obviously, because the Mets.
Detroit,
right? But think about this, and this is such a nerd thing, but the Mets used to play in Flushing, New York, right? And if you're not too familiar with Flushing, New York, it also used to be what's called the Valley of the Ashes. If you've ever read The Great Gatsby, the eyes of Dr. T.J. Eckelberg, you have that as a possibility of like a design. And you look at also the World's Fair, like you guys are familiar if you've seen like Iron Man or like Men in Black 1. The World's Fair area, that right there, that also is the Valley of Ashes where it used to be. So that's also a very iconic thing. They could really play on the World's Fair kind of design as well if the Mets did it. They just popped into my head as two things that the Mets could really utilize because they used to play in the Valley of Ashes. People just don't realize that.
They like to tell those deep stories like that with this shit. So that definitely could be a possibility. But so those are those teams. You guys got anything else on City Connect?
No.
All right. Second question we got was, what was your favorite media? Could be a movie, TV, music, or book from 2022. Anyone?
Oh, you're gonna? Oh, well, I'll start. I saw it today.
Kevin, you're the TV
yeah.
and movie guy.
I saw it. It had been all year. It had been Meet the Fablemans till today. I went and saw Babylon with Brad Pitt, Margot Robbie. I mean, the cast is. I mean, I can't even name how many people are in the cast, and it's like a 3-hour movie that's not for everybody. But man, today I was sitting in the movie theater alone, and I'm like a huge history buff when it comes to like the history of film, especially like the silent film era, the talkies, the golden age of Hollywood, the modern age of film, the studio system as it was built, et cetera. It basically documents from 1920 up until like the mid 1930s and then into the 50s how they went from the silent film era, which was just a debaucherous. You didn't have to talk, so you just had to be good looking and beautiful, and it's the insane parties, and it starts with so much energy. If you like Boogie Nights, it's almost like Boogie Nights was set in the 1920s.
Does it have
because
as
it
many
starts out like a skyrocket. Huh? And there's a lot of boobies and peen, yes. And it starts out like a rocket ship because you feel like you're geeked up and on drugs like they are. And as you know, you obviously hit that peak like most of those actors did. And then there's that falling action of your life after like obviously you peak and you're no longer the good looking, you're yesterday's news kind of thing. And it's funny though, and the music's fantastic. There's 4 different stories that are all being told at once, and I loved it, man. To me it's just a long movie. It's not for everybody because the length is 3 hours and 9 minutes. So like my fiance would have been done after like 2 hours.
Long. Isn't the new Avatar movie like 4 hours?
It's 3 hours, a little bit.
That is a
Bruh.
tall ask. Movie wise, I don't know. There's some really good stuff that came out this year. I like that Adam Sandler basketball movie.
That was good.
Hustle.
Yeah.
Hustle. That was pretty good. What else came out this year? Doctor Strange and the Multitude of Madness. I'm a big Marvel guy. I like that. I don't think they did what they should have done with it, but it was still pretty good.
Batman.
Caught me in for that one too. Like,
King.
thought it was all right.
And I'm not even a big superhero guy, but I thought Pattinson crushed it.
The documentary Facing Nolan.
Oh, good stuff.
Ooh,
That was really
Good
good
stuff.
this year.
that was good.
And then if you guys follow me on Twitter, you know, like out of absolutely nowhere, I used to
Airplanes? Do you still think airplanes is better than
I have a-
cars?
No, we still watch Cars.
Who said that?
We're still a big Cars guy.
Zoe had a take, I think, last year that
Yeah.
the movie series Airplanes was
I
better
think
than Cars.
that came
You
from a
said Cars
place
fatigue.
of being so sick of Cars. That
Cars fatigue.
He's actually upstairs watching Cars right now. I'm not even kidding. I can hear it. But out of nowhere, like in the middle of this year, I don't even know how it like started. I just started getting really, really into country music. Used to hate country music, and now I like it a lot. And I have to put a disclaimer on it: not pop country. Like that shit, I don't like that shit. Like there's a big difference, and I've learned this difference is when I get into something, I get like really into something. I don't like half-ass it. Like,
So you've been getting to some like early 2010s Taylor Swift, huh?
well, I mean,
Into like Eric Church.
you'll never hear me like talk bad about T Swift. Let's get real here. But
I'm talking about the real countries.
no, I'm talking about. So this year, an album came out. It's called "Can I Take My Hounds to Heaven." It's by my guy Tyler Childers. He's by far my favorite artist right now, and I was a big fan of that album coming out this year. It was very good. It's a little churchy, but he's a real deal. I like his songs, his whole whatever. But that came out this year. So if we're talking about movie and music that came out this year, I was a big
You
fan
see
of
Everything Everywhere All at Once, by the way.
Yes. That was
that. What?
Everything Everywhere All at Once.
What was that?
It's a movie. I mean, a very similar take on an idea of a multiverse, but it's
You
with
gotta watch it to
Michelle Yao and Ki Kwang. I forget how to say his last name. Short Round from the Goonies, making his
Okay,
return to
yeah.
film. Fantastic film. That was my third favorite film of the year. So it's a good one if you haven't seen it.
Interesting. No, I haven't seen that.
Good.
I really liked Stepmom Gets Stuck in a Dryer. That came out this year. That was really good. That just flew over all your heads.
No idea what you're talking about.
Yeah, I've not heard of that one.
Porn guys.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh well, speaking of that, Kimmy Kim had some good scenes this year.
I saw this really pretty one. She had an Adam's apple. I don't know where she got it from, but it was really good.
I just watched Bullet Train. That was pretty good.
Yeah, that's fun.
I'm trying to think of what else came out this year.
Brad Pitt had a pretty good year.
The Elvis movie sucked.
Oh,
No,
I disagree.
I did not like it.
bad take.
I did
You
not
put
like
Doctor
it.
Strange in your best list, and you're not going to put.
No, I love Elvis. Didn't like the movie.
Were you guys happy with the Stranger Things season?
Yes, that was good.
Like,
That was very.
I forgot. Yeah, I forgot that was this year, huh?
That was
Yeah,
very
we
good.
have to listen to Running Up That Hill for like freaking months now.
I like the Wednesday Netflix.
That was good.
That was really good. I think that girl, whatever her name is, absolutely fucking
Jenna
crushed it.
Ortega.
Yeah,
Those are all nice answers. The correct answer, though, was Curb Your Enthusiasm. The new season was phenomenal. Larry David,
I feel like you're a big Curb guy.
Bill has it, and that was a phenomenal.
I get you're a big Curb guy. I get that vibe off you, buddy.
I mean, the Batman came out this year too. It feels like it was so long ago, but that was a good one. That was like one of the year's first good one.
That was pretty good.
Now, music-wise, did you guys? My favorite was Jack White's. He did 2 this year. It was kind of cool. He did "Fear of the Dawn," which was a hard, like heavy, like more electric guitar, and then he did a second one called "Entering Heaven Alive," which was all like acoustic. Some of the same songs even played, but differently. And I got to him. His live show was really good this year too. So that's probably what I would say music-wise. That's where I was headed.
Did you guys watch the movie on Netflix, The Gray Man, with Gosling in it and Chris Evans?
Oh yeah. Were they the spies?
Yeah, it was pretty good.
That fight sequence at the end where they're by the fountain, that was good.
That was pretty good. Stranger Things was really good. Wednesday was good. Everybody liked that Jeffrey Dahmer series. That was cool.
Gosh. Yeah, that was hot.
That's a fucking weird dude, man. I mean, he ate people.
That's one way to put it.
What about White Lotus? I don't watch White Lotus, but have you guys watched White Lotus? Anybody?
I have. My wife did. I didn't watch it.
I
It's so
haven't watched
lovable in that show. I got through 2 episodes, and I was done. Like, I hate all
Severance was good. Did you see Severance? That was a great one on Apple TV Plus. That was with God, what the heck's his name? Adam Scott. Adam Scott. Yeah, Adam Scott.
Oh yeah. When he's like 2 different people.
When you
like
turn your brain off and you go into
yeah.
work, so you don't remember your day at work, and then as soon as you're done with work, you go back and then your memories start again. So like you basically don't have to remember going to 9 to 5. It's like that work-life balance thing.
Tulsa King's pretty good. I'm caught up on that. That's pretty decent. It's a little forced. You know what I'm saying? Like it's like, okay, we get it. He's a mob guy.
Andor.
Oklahoma.
Andor was good.
Andor was good.
The Offer, the story of how they made The Godfather, I thought was really good. That was on Paramount.
I haven't seen that yet. Ozark season 4 was pretty dope.
Oh, it was.
I'm a big Umbrella Academy guy.
Oh, that was good.
I love that show. I thought season 3 was pretty good.
There was a short show on Hulu, I think it was, with Andrew Garfield called Under the Banner of Heaven. He's a detective solving a murder of an LDS, like a fundamental Mormon family that basically like that the big families that live kind of like alone off inside. And there's like a murder and he has to solve it. He's also Mormon, so like LDS, so like he's like struggling with his faith. It's a good one. It's powerful. It's rough. It's hard. It's like True Detective. It's almost like True Detective in Utah. That's a good way to put it.
Did you see the new True Detective coming out?
Yeah, can't wait. Good cast too.
Very good. Yeah. You guys got anything else? That was a really weird question. That's a tough question.
The Peripheral was a good show too. I don't know if you've seen that yet.
We live in like a day and age where there's so much art being created like every second. You know what I mean? Between TV, movies,
there's so much stuff.
Music, like
consume.
I mean, it's crazy.
What's your favorite TikTok this year, Zoe? I mean, I know you watch TikTok a ton.
TikTok cracks me up, dude.
What's been your favorite TikTok of the year?
I have
besides
no clue.
What is it? Turtleneck and Twit or turtleneck?
Turtleneck and Blazer. Turtleneck and Blazer was. Quick story about that. Thought that video was hilarious. Didn't know that dude was like a predominant comedian in the LGBTQ community. Did I get them all?
You missed
LGBT.
Okay.
LGBTQ.
I tried.
Plus. There's a plus.
Didn't know that. Tweeted out the video because I thought it was hilarious and want to share it to people. I had to mute it because I got a lot of unwanted advances,
Oh,
and I got a lot of followers that
You're a
followed me
Bears.
that unfollowed me real quick.
he is a bear.
Um,
The
I
bottom
didn't
bear.
know what was happening, and the dude DM me. He's like, "Hey man, how big are you?" And I was like, "Oh, 6'1". I
hello.
was like, "Oh, 6'1", 225." He's like, "That's not what I meant with the winky face." I was like, "What the fuck is going on?" I was like, "Holy shit, man!"
Zoe
Oh.
got the treatment of what it's like to be a female sports writer on
I
Twitter.
really did. You know, it was like
It could have been a lot worse though. You could just got like just DMs full of dick pics.
Mhm.
it never got there, which was kind of insulting. I thought
Good.
By the
I'm
way,
glad I'm the only
I've,
one.
uh,
then.
I thought I at least would warrant some dick
Some
pics. But
competition.
Another
anyways,
movie that I watched from this year that I thought was good, Prey. Little
Prey?
the story. Yeah, the Predator prequel.
Predator prequel. That
Oh.
That was good.
I heard that
That's
was good. I didn't see that.
I did not
I
see
actually
that.
I had a student that was pretty upset that
It's on Hulu.
they spoke in English. That he felt that the film would have been much better in all
They
subtitles.
They
hate that
have on Hulu a full version of it with the spoken language of that tribe.
Really?
If
I'm
you
like,
want to watch that with the
Yes.
English subtitles.
Absolutely. That's my student. I'm going to tell him that first thing in when I go back to school.
Another huge confession. I'm just laying it all out there right now. Big fan of Harry Styles' album this year.
Hey,
Big fan.
Okay.
Big fan. That has nothing to do with turtleneck and blazer, but yeah,
No,
big fan.
did you see Don't Worry, Darlings with him and his ex-girlfriend Olivia Wilde, which she basically stood in because they fired Shia LaBeouf?
No, I heard the
his-
story of the
she-
movie. Like I
Yeah,
heard
she-
all about all that drama, but I never watched the actual
disappeared.
movie.
I think they were disappearing and banging, I think, on set. Like they're like, hey, where's Olivia? And
Trying to think of other good albums that came out. Oh, Mr. Morale and the Big Steppers, Kendrick Lamar. That was really
that was
good.
good. Black Keys had a new album too.
New Bad Bunny was bumping all summer.
I actually saw a funny TikTok about that. Some dude was like, he said, my neighbors played Bad Bunny to 3 a.m. So this is how I woke them up at 6 a.m. And he had a speaker on his porch and he was just blasting Metallica. And then you could hear the neighbors starting yelling at him and shit.
and you hated the movie, but I thought the Elvis soundtrack was fantastic.
Yeah, the soundtrack was very good. I think the actor was good. I just didn't like, it was something about how they told the story. I just didn't like it. Midnights for Taylor Swift. God bless her. So happy she
Is
got
there
her
any
master's
media we
back.
did not like from this year?
Name a what?
Is there any media we didn't like from this year? Because I think that might be a shorter segment at this point.
That might be. Well, see, young
Did you already mention Dawn
Oh.
FM by the weekend?
Oh, Mitch, so young.
Halloween.
This is off-season
the new Halloween,
podcasting,
or the
so
last
you
Halloween.
can't have a segment that's too long.
Right, that's true.
I'm thinking about all the other questions that we got.
All right, fine. We'll move on.
So, real quick, did you mention PM Dawn FM from the
No, I
weekend?
did not. That was very
Narrated
good,
by
though.
Jim Carrey, by the way.
Yeah,
for those
that
of you.
was. He
Interesting.
was a weird. Weekend's a weird dude, man. But
Molly
he's-
Little
he's
had
like
nice few
good
scenes
weird.
this year.
Wait, why is Mike Trout trending all of a sudden?
Uh-oh.
Traded to the Cubs. Let's go.
No, it's just because people are watching his highlights. Okay.
I got
Anyways,
lucky. The car was pretty chill.
That's all it is.
so back to baseball. Pivot. Fidge, your boy, Aloha Mr. Hand said, talk about the most underrated and overrated player. And I said, of all time or this year? And he replied, yes. So, Mitch, I saw you warming the hands like you're one of the big timers down there. Who you got for this, bud?
I did some
Was
research
this baseball players?
for the
Yeah, baseball players.
for my all-time one. I had to do some research. This is a tough one. It's
I
also
like it.
I'm going George High Pockets Kelly,
Stop
New
it.
York Giants.
You're such an asshole. I knew you would do something like this.
He had one really good year where he hit 306, 106 RBIs.
Did you watch a lot of High Pockets games,
Huh?
Mitch? You catch a lot of High Pockets game?
No, his mixtape was pretty mediocre on YouTube. Barely find any highlights. And outside his 1 year, he was a pretty average baseball player, and somehow he's in the Hall of Fame, which makes me sick. Underrated. Speaking of that, if George High Pocket Kelly gets in the Hall of Fame, how come our boy Mark Burley hasn't gotten in the Hall of Fame yet? His lack of votes is disgusting to me. The man's got a no-hitter and a perfect game. Great.
I think he qualifies as underrated. I think that's
I'm going
fair.
Burley is my underrated. George High Pockets Kelly is my overrated. There you have it.
For my one of my all-time
we're staying all
underrated
time.
guys.
We'll go all time right now, and then we'll come into this year.
Underrated guy, Scott Rowland. Dude was a beast with the Cardinals.
Scott Rowland was the shit, dude.
The Reds. I think he spent some time even with the Blue Jays. He was pretty good. Scott Rowland should be a Hall of Famer. Probably won't be this year, but he was really damn good. I can't think of overrated. I don't know. Overrated.
All right, hold on. Timeout. We're gonna do a Zach Nelson or Zach Morris timeout from Saved by the Bell because
Everyone
this is
freeze.
the second time homie's asked this. And what's up? What are your thoughts on the Cubs trading Nick Madrigal and what's the value back? I'll leave that to you two. And
There's
don't
really
trade
not
the
a
White
trade
Sox.
value there because he's a low contract, cheap option to have on your bench. I mean, unless you're going to get, it's not really worth just sending a guy out unless you're trying to clear space. And I don't think I think he's too talented to just clear space. There's other guys you can clear space with instead.
Guy can hit.
Magical. He could still be a good pinch hitter. He could still go up there and be a pest. Unless some team's going to be giving you, some maybe some. I don't even know. I really don't know if there's much value for him because other than for the Cubs at least, because teams are going to not see a value. But I don't think there's a value in trading him away from the Cubs right now. There's just there's just not going to be a return that's worth it to me.
I'll take a quality reliever for Nick Madrigal.
I think that's about what you're going to get for him right now.
That would be a win.
That's about it. But I also think in this day and age, depth has never been more important.
Mm-hmm.
I think having a guy like Nick Madrigal on your bench and
you know what helps with depth? Staying healthy.
Well, yeah, but I mean, hey,
and Nico's had issues with that. Let's be honest.
You can't steal the White Sox slogan of "just stay healthy." Copyright Pete Fluff. But I think depth is important. I also think having a guy like Madrigal that can move a lineup along. If you have a runner on second with one out in the 7th inning and you need a pitch hitter, that's not a bad guy to roll up to the plate because you know damn well he's probably going to get the guy to third.
To put the ball in play.
White Sox trade for him. I agree. You guys keep talking up Nick Madrigal, but then anytime anyone suggests that you
it didn't work here, dude, and I think
it could work. Why can't it work? So he hit 340 in 2020.
He'd be coming back to such a toxic fan environment.
Yeah,
this is one of the very rare times where I think the fan environment would actually affect the player, and I really think that would fuck with Nick Madrigal. I think Kevin would be
like he's soft then.
There'd be a lot of people having to swallow their pride.
Player, you can't even deal fans.
I
think about the order in which the order in which people are how many people in the decision to trade him in the first place, yada yada yada, would have to swallow their pride to even accept something like that. You're not going to get that signed off all the way up the ladder.
My biggest wish for Nick Madrigal is that he goes to the Rockies and hits 312 and 10 home runs.
Yep, that'd be great.
I'd be so happy for him.
That'd be fun. He'd be good there.
Oh yeah, you weren't here when we talked about that. Yeah, we discussed that at length.
Yeah, Nick Madrigal to the Rockies.
Perfect spot for him. Absolute perfect spot.
No pressure out on west side of the country.
Nobody's watching that shit.
No one's watching the Rockies.
And
Chris Bryant gets somebody on base.
Great stadium. Great stadium for him to hit in.
Yeah.
And they got a couple pups. They're about a year or two away, so having him around would be nice.
Yeah, they still got that big boy, that switch hitter that I really like. I can't think of his fucking name.
Yeah, they've got a few. I mean, they can spend. I mean, they have money to spend if they want to spend it. So obviously they're not doing that yet.
All right, time back in. Underrated player of all time. I'm going to go with Tim Salmon.
Ooh,
okay. Angels love.
I don't think Tim Salmon gets the love he should get. I just pulled up his career stats. Career slash of 282, 385, 498. He was one home run shy of 300 home runs. That sucked. He finished his career with 299 home runs.
That probably does suck.
He couldn't fucking Pujols.
Wait, look up his last year. Look up his last year. How many did he hit?
But he had over 1,000 RBIs, over 1,600 hits, 986 runs. He couldn't even get to 1,000 runs. You son of a bitch. But American League Rookie of the Year, spent his whole career with the Angels, which is something that I think is awesome when a guy does that. Abreu. Not your fault, Jose. I love you. But yeah,
he could have taken a discount.
Kingfish, man. Tim Salmon. That's my underrated player.
Grand Canyon University.
GCU.
Yep.
GCU. Yep.
And fun fact about Tim Salmon, 14 years, that career stat line, never named to an all-star team.
So are you doing overrated or are you sticking or should I do underrated?
Do your underrated first, because
For me, it's easy. I don't even know how. I mean, no Cub fan would ever say anything other than this. It's got to be Ron Santo. My God, it took 40 years after his career was over. He was dead by the time he finally got enshrined in the Hall of Fame. I mean, the dude was 5-time Gold Glove, 9-time All-Star, hit 277, 342 home runs, 1,331 RBIs, and he did it. I'm sorry to have to say this. He did it as a guy who played the game in a time where there was no real answer for someone who was a diabetic. He did everything that he did, brought joy to the game, and he was one cleat scratch something away from terminal issues because there was I mean, he risked. I mean, what he did, considering that. I mean, obviously, it was a groundbreaking thing, and the fact that it took it that long for him to get into the Hall of Fame is absolute horseshit. I actually told him I was lucky to meet him before he passed. He was here for the Vegas game, and I actually told him, I go, we'll never go to the Hall of Fame until you are there. And so a couple of years later, obviously, after he passed away, he was enshrined, so now I can actually finally go there. Thank goodness. But that was unbelievable. So stupid that he had to be voted in by the players 40 years later.
Yeah, that's lame.
Ridiculous. I mean, he was. If you look at some of the stats of the guys that got in over him, especially some Yankees, specifically third baseman, his numbers stand up and always stood up against any third baseman.
If you're watching and you want to throw in the comments your most underrated player, like Yumper said, Garrett Anderson, dude. Garrett Anderson was that guy for a couple of years, and
He was.
What was it, Home Run Derby when he put on that show? Like Garrett Anderson was nice, dude.
Sweet swing too.
Mike Nelson says underrated Ben Zobrist.
Yeah,
I would agree with that.
Consistent
World
is
Series
usually
MVP.
Consistency always becomes an overrated, and you get underrated if you're consistent.
Maybe it's just me because I'm young, dumb, and stupid. But I would say, I was looking at the numbers the other day. Bobby Abreu did not realize he was like. I know he was a good player, but like
Bobby Abreu was nice, dude.
Underrated.
Bobby Abreu was nice.
Mm-hmm.
So overrated all time. This is a little tougher because this is very subjective, but I'm gonna catch a lot of shit. I'm glad we don't have a very big presence in Boston.
Oh,
because Jason Varitek.
Yeah.
Oh, good.
Okay.
Mitch, we're looking at the same list. We're both cheating off the same homework. Jason Varitek, he was good. I mean, from 02 to 05, he 279 batting average, 20 home runs, 72 RBIs, but outside of that, he was a 244 hitter. Like, he was a decent defensive catcher. I know the intangible stat of like leadership in the locker room and all that shit. Like, I get all that. I'm not taking that into consideration for this discussion. I mean, I also understand what he meant to the Boston Red Sox franchise, but I think just as a player, like I think he was a little overrated. Ray Durham's a great answer for underrated. Ray Durham was fucking nice. Who do you guys got for overrated?
Well, I'm also glad we don't have a very big New York Yankees following on this show, because this is kind of this is a super hot take here. I think Thurman Munson's overrated. I think that the fact that he was killed in a plane crash, unfortunately and tragically, even though his 11-year career, he had an 11-year career. I mean, the dude hit 113 homers in 11 years. He drove in 700 runs in 11 years. He had a 3-year stretch where he was pretty good. He was the MVP in, I think, 76. But I think that, I mean, the fact is he wasn't even the best catcher in Yankees history. And he played around guys like Fisk and Bench. I just look at his numbers and you see, again, I mean, he had only 3 seasons where he had a third season, I guess. So 4 seasons where he had an OPS plus over 100 and like you're barely above the 100. So,
damn it, Yumper.
I think his tragic death, which, and again, his mustache, on the other hand, is underrated. On that whole flip side, I think that his tragic passing built up. It's kind of like no offense, Yumper, Brandon Lee. So I think that.
No, I'm said damn it, Yumper, because I was gonna let you guys all go and then I was gonna hit you with a big over the top Derek Jeter, but Yumper.
No, I just didn't mean to offend him. I know that Yump loves the Crow, so I was.
You're going Varitek and Derek Jeter as your overrated. You're gonna piss off both Boston.
Jeter sucked in the field.
Oh yeah, I don't.
Jeter sucked in the field. Like, let's just get that clear. Like, he's not as good of a shortstop as people. Like, I think Derek Jeter was overrated as fuck. I can make a mixtape of my sophomore year basketball highlights, and you'd be like, "Oh, this kid's pretty good."
Baskets.
I'll add another Yankee.
He's giving out gift baskets though too.
That's true. Adam Dunn's a good answer, Mike. That's a good one.
Adam Dunn overrated?
I think he's properly rated, actually.
Yeah, I think if anything, he's underrated.
I would agree with you, actually.
Underrated?
Well, because everyone shits on him because like his last few years when he was just trash with the White Sox. But like when you look back of like what did you want a slugger to do? Like he was the guy. Yeah, he was going to strike out, but he drew walks and hit 40 home runs a year.
Be
It's
nice
true.
for this White Sox team.
And then he sucked for the White Sox.
Honestly, his second year wasn't even like his first year was so bad it left such a bad taste in everyone's mouth. But his second year was not like you said, he didn't hit for average, but I think he had over 30 homers and walked a ton.
God, Derek Jeter.
Game would be a strikeout, a walk, and then a home run, and then you saw an Adam Dunn cycle.
Derek Jeter had a negative 27 defensive runs saved in
He
2005.
sucked in the field, dude. He sucked in the field. Derek Jeter. Actually, I changed my answer. Fuck Jason Varitek. My answer is Derek Jeter.
I'll add it. Most overrated player all time, Mariano Rivera. It's just because he was a Yankee. There's been plenty of closers who've been good.
Didn't he break records though?
He got the shine though, because why? Because the Yankees, he was on a great team. He kept being in the postseason. He kept he's great, obviously, but he's on a great team. Yeah, of course he's gonna have more save chances.
Fair. And I mean,
like when it comes to because those are counting stats, and like if you're on a better team, you're gonna have more opportunities.
Who would you rather have, Trevor Hoffman or Mariano Rivera?
Trevor Hoffman's changeup.
I think it's fucking lethal. Give me that.
Luis
one
Gonzalez
year.
isn't hitting that for
Give me those
game
2
winning.
years of.
If they were
World Series
correctly in that game, they would have made that out. They were all playing in, had the second base and shortstop and back. That's caught.
Give me the 2 years of Eric
disagree
Gagne juiced up over any closer.
I disagree with Rivera being overrated, especially the most overrated player of all time. I mean, I think he might be I think he's fairly overrated, but I don't think he's the I mean, the dude was, yes, he had more save chances, but the guy also was. I mean, look at how many times he pitched too. Because he was on so many good teams, he was pitching deep into the postseason as well. I mean, the dude was pitching excessive amounts, and he was a 2-inning relief guy. He was one of the first believers in the more modern age that was doing the double dip where they would go back out for a second inning of work. He might be overrated, but he's not like I can't see him as the most overrated.
In all honesty, guys, I mean, I respect all these guys so much. Even Derek Jeter. I mean, like he sucked.
Oh, yeah.
He sucked defensively, like especially the latter part of his career, but he was still great.
No, and I agree with you. This is just baseball like banter, but like
the Mariano Rivera. I was just trying to pick somebody.
all right, well then here, new question.
Could have said Javi.
You're starting your all-time baseball team right now.
Already says that he's overrated. So.
Your all-time baseball team right now. You get to pick. You have to pick the closer, and you have to 1 year from that closer though. Like, give me which closer you would take.
Eckersley.
I'm 1,000,000%, no doubt about it. My
05 Bobby Jenks.
Give me 2003 Eric Gagne. And all the roids.
There it is.
Asshole hit on my ex-wife. Right in front of me. I could do nothing.
Give me 2003 Eric Gagne. Give me all the
Eric
roids.
Gagne all roided up. I'm with you.
Dude, from 02 to 04, roided up Eric Gagne was the nastiest closer of all time. He was just sick, dude. He had that Vulcan change. The fuck is a Vulcan change? I don't know, but Eric Gagne threw it and it fucking.
You put it between these fingers.
Yeah. Bro, in fucking 2023, he was an all-star. He won the Cy Young.
Yeah, as a closer. Fucking insane.
And the HGH wore off.
Oh, yeah. Oh, no. I mean, there was no question about it. That dude was just riding the Roy train like you wouldn't believe. Mitch, who's your closer?
I'm going Rivera still.
Yeah. That's fair. I think that's a fair answer.
Absolutely fair.
You can't go I like Lee Smith though. I met him outside a Crosstown game, and
Lee Smith was nice.
He was super chill. I had the Sox jersey on. He's like, "Hey, go Sox!" And I'm like, "Really?" He's like, "Yeah, I bet on him tonight."
See, that's a good story though.
I could throw Lee Smith in that underrated category too. Like, what took so long for him to be a Hall of Famer? For God's sakes!
Although you're going with 05 Bobby Jenks.
You're not.
No, I'm going with 03 roided out of his fucking skull, Eric Gagne.
Look at 05 Bobby Jenks. Dude was nails.
He was nails.
Addison Reed from 2014.
Oh, Jesus. Fun fact, Eric Gagne was drafted by the White Sox.
Sounds right.
By the way, Mariano Rivera, possibly a murderer. So there's that.
got that going for it. Did I ever tell you guys my Mario Rivera story? When I was living in Florida, I did a side job of construction for this guy who was married to one of Steinbrenner's daughters. Big fat guy, fucking asshole. But he used to tell us all these old Yankee stories, and he was telling us how like they found Mariano Rivera when he was like 10 years old, and like a Yankee scout went down there and like lived in his house with him, and like they like hid him from the world until he was 14 and old enough to sign legally to sign a contract. Like, how nice were you at 10 years old where the fucking New York Yankees were like, yeah, we're just going to put you in this mansion with your mom and this scout for 4 years until you can sign this piece of paper legally?
Yeah, no, that
biography.
What's up?
that stuff is
That part out of his
amazing.
autobiography.
I can see why. It doesn't look really good for the Yankees.
I tried out and I didn't have a gloves, and then I had to get one.
It's borderline child trafficking, but yeah, it's 2016 Zach Britton was good.
Just make sure to use him in the playoffs.
All right. This is still baseball related, but it's more Chicago related, which is funny because I'm the only one actually in Chicago, which I'm not even in Chicago anymore. Best food at the ballpark you visited? Any ballpark, anywhere.
Dodger Dog, overrated.
Dodger Dog sucks.
Let's get that out of the way.
I'll shoot here. Las Vegas Ballpark has some freaking fantastic food here. It's a AAA ballpark, but my God, like the food here it's legitimate. Like chefs from around town created this menu. I mean, this place it's very expensive, by the way. Like they have frosés and like all these like more bougies for like $18. It's like overpriced stuff, but they had like their hot dogs. They're like the other they come on like Texas toast hot dog. You know, I'm talking about like the different hot dog buns. It's just the food there it's enough to go there just for the food, which is, I think AAA does that a lot. There's a lot of AAA ballparks. There's a dude on MLB.com that actually does like all the ballparks. Like he like literally goes and reviews just the food because all these places have some really cool things. So I think that if we're talking major league stuff, it's a little bit different. I think
so. I can't really answer this question because I don't really eat when I go to ball games. I'm a big give me a big pretzel with a cup of cheese. That usually sets the tone. I do like the elote at White Sox games.
Mhm.
That's pretty good.
those are good.
Every once in a while, maybe I'll grab a hot dog or a sausage, but I'm not a big eater at baseball games.
I'm with you, Zoe. I'm not doing anything fancy at games. Just nachos, hot dog with some grilled onions.
Yep.
The Sox
pretty
have
much
probably more diverse menus out of most of the ballparks I've been to. Like the
They
Cuban
do.
Comet sandwich, can't go wrong with that. Little
Those are
over.
good.
That would probably be my go-to. Worst food was Cincinnati. I had one of the worst hot dogs.
Skyline chili is
The skyline chili.
No,
Sky-
I don't think it had
Skyline chili is like dog vomit.
Check
Run
this out.
would
Coors Field has a place called Biker Jim's, and they do bacon wrapped cheddar dogs, elk
I'll be-
jalapeno cheddar dogs,
I'll be right
reindeer
back.
sausage, jackalope sausage, Louisiana red hot sausage, vegan dog, and chips. That's pretty cool.
I would say, actually underrated was Fenway Park in 2018. I don't know if they still have it, and it's kind of gross looking back on it that I ordered it, but they had fried oysters, which probably is disgusting.
Oh.
At ballpark fried oysters. That was delicious. It smelled good. So I've got it.
Would you guys try like what do they have? Don't they have like fancy ass shit in San Francisco and Seattle?
Yeah, and by the way, San Diego Petco has Hodads, which Hodads will win everything as far as burgers are concerned. If you've ever been to San Diego and you've had a Hodad, you know what I'm talking about. If getting that at the ballpark is a mistake, though, because you're going to be wearing that shit. You're going to be wearing it. It'll be. You're going to have it's like mayo and everything. If you get it done right, you're going to have it all over you. It's going to be, but it's delicious. That's like a. I see it on the menu, but I'm never going to order that at a ball game kind of thing.
Yeah, I'm with Zoe though. I'm not really a big eater at games.
It's just a hot dog.
Dodgers
nachos.
one. They had a Clayton Kershaw like craft beer. It was called like Kershaw's Curve or whatever, and that was pretty cool.
They got Tony Gwynn one. It's what $3.94, I think it's called. It's a good little brew. You could also. I mean, Wrigley did do this for a while, and they don't do it anymore, I don't think. But it was Italian beef helmet nachos, which, I mean, you really can't screw that up. It was just delicious.
My brother's big thing when we go to the game is he eats helmet nachos and cleans it out and wears the helmet for the rest of the game.
Yeah,
It's hilarious.
He's
I mean,
done
yeah,
that.
yeah.
He's done that since we were kids. He does it every
Hilarious.
time.
I mean, you're losing
He doesn't
money.
do that when he goes to Dairy Queen, though, does he? That wouldn't fit.
Not a Zawoski head, that's for
You
sure.
put one on our dog one year. We dressed him up as AJ Przinsky. We had like a AJ Przinsky juice that didn't fit. We put it on our Bijan and gave one of the DQ helmets. It was AJ.
Were you guys talking about beer?
Yeah.
Minnesota Target Field is a great beer.
Hmm.
It's a
Makes
great
sense. They got some
ballpark.
good breweries out there in Minnesota.
Yeah, it's a great ballpark. I don't know if you guys know this or not really a fancy beer drinker, but Minnesota, like, I got out of my comfort zone because they also had some weird orange drink that had like a shit ton of booze in it. I got fucked up at a Minnesota game. I was hungover as shit the next day, but yeah.
Also, same.
Here's
I
your
don't
list
care.
right
I'm
here.
a
I got your
trashy
list for
beer
you.
drinker.
What's up?
Here's your list. What do you got? It's looks like Goose Island Next Coast IPA. No, is that Furious IPA?
It wasn't the drink I'm talking about in Minnesota wasn't a beer. It was like a mixed drink. It was orange something.
Oh,
I don't know. I was all fucking jacked up, but it was really good. And also they had like what did they have there? They served like fish, like walleye.
Yum.
oh yeah. Mm-hmm.
It was pretty good, but I was drunk, so I don't know how you really. I was drunk on the orange drink, but this guy had a bunch of parts to his question. Favorite non-touristy thing to do around Chicagoland? For me, is go to dive bars.
Yeah.
Can't go wrong.
Non-touristy.
I mean, Kingston Miles is always a go-to. I'm actually next time I'm in town. I didn't go last time, which was pain.
Get a Cuban sandwich from Cafecito.
Mm.
Well, yeah, that, and I mean, there's so much good food in Chicago.
Yeah, just go to any go to any neighborhood and just go visit any restaurant.
Oh man! So my buddy gave me this place because we were in New Orleans, and I'm like, I love muffalata. Is there like, have you ever? I don't know if you've had a muffalata in New
Is
Orleans.
it muffalata or muffalata?
Muffalata.
Oh,
Say
I've been
muffalata.
saying it wrong my whole life. Then.
Uh,
But go ahead.
They correct you down there. It's muffalata.
This is
You know. But
muffalata.
they,
Mouthful of muff.
This
buddy
is
said
sorry,
there's a grocery store.
Fizz. If I don't say this now, I'm gonna forget it. But this is the drink I was talking about. It's called Two Gingers. Cocktails made with gin, whiskey, ale, and more. It literally says
And
and
more.
more.
And
They
more.
fucking throw gasoline in that bitch. You don't know it's and more.
Big ginger. Oh no, two gingers. Sorry.
Two Gingers. Yeah, I got
And
all
more.
juiced up on that. Sorry, Fizz. I didn't mean to cut
No,
you off.
no,
If
no,
I
I
didn't
just-
say it then, I would have forgot.
I've got to find out now because I accidentally deleted it. Actually, putting on my my tracking code for the PlayStation because I'm an idiot. But apparently there's a little grocery store there in Chicago, and I think it's near South Side that makes like really good muffalatas, like really good.
Oh yeah, it's
Something in it's something and some grocery or something like that, or something in
no,
something.
it's the dude the Barstool always talks about. I go to his place all the time. Fuck, what the fuck is it? They got a really good. I always
The
fucking
sandwich guy?
muffaletta. Yeah.
I know who you're talking about. I can't remember the name.
God damn it.
Uh,
JP Graziano's.
There you go.
They got a really good muffaletta.
Muffaletta. I know that moof is weird because it was
Yeah, I
funny to
think-
say muff.
If someone ever says, "What's a non-tourist thing to do in Chicago?" Dive bars and food.
Yep.
Yeah.
I mean, that's
In,
pretty much.
in the museums, but that's touristy, so I guess it doesn't count.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
There's a couple like off the book ones though. There's like the history of English literature or history of literature museum. That was pretty cool.
The architecture boat tour, but that's super touristy. But
That's
that's a really dope thing to do. The gangster tour, that's
Mm.
usually pretty good.
Like that's all. Yeah, like that's
Second City,
Um,
always fun.
just like walk around the city.
Yeah,
Don't worry, you're not gonna get shot.
and don't wear your Miami Marlins City Connect hat.
Ooh.
Next part of this question was the best road trips y'all have been on. I mean, I've driven between Chicago and Florida more times than I can count, and there's been different
Ooh.
adventures.
Same with me in Colorado
Yeah,
for our baseball trips every summer for like 10 years.
I always like going to Canada for fishing. Those are always good trips. There you go, Jeff the Giant. We brought up Canada.
And I'll go close to Canada for you, Jeff. We did a 13-day road trip back in like 2012, no, summer 2013 in August. Went all the way up from Vegas, all the way up through the like middle of Nevada, up through Reno, up into Idaho, and then into the northern Cascades. And then we hiked 6 days or 3 days total, 2 days in, a couple days camping, 2 days back out. Plus, we hiked up to Jack Kerouac's Fire Lookout, then drove down to Seattle, partied in Seattle. Like after we had recovered from one night, we recovered after we got back. We stayed in a hostel and then went down to Seattle, stayed in Seattle for a couple nights, did the Seattle thing, down in the market and all that stuff. Then from there, drove to the Goonies house, stopped at the Goonies house in Astoria. I got to see where they did Free Willy and Kindergarten Cop as well. And then went down from there, went to San Francisco, and then spent another 3 or 4 days in San Francisco and did a lot of Jack Kerouac stupid stuff.
I feel like the next part of this question kind of goes with it, so we could just it said top your favorite vacation spot. I mean, that's
spot, not just like a road trip.
Well, you can kind of do them both. I mean,
I thought you were talking about road trip. I thought we were doing the best.
We did best road. That was the original, but the next part of the question was best vacation. So I just figured you can kind of.
Oh, that's not my top vacation spot though.
It depends for me on vacations, like what I'm trying to do. If I'm just trying to go rage for like 2-3 days straight, I'll just cruise on down to Nashville.
That's a good spot. Real good spot.
But like if I want to relax and like that's when you start getting into like resorts in Mexico and like
I was literally gonna say, Zoe, I stayed at my first resort back in March for like a week. It was like 5 days.
So you can't go wrong with all inclusive.
You cannot go. I was in Cancun. It's amazing. Just everything paid for. Drinks on drinks on drinks. You can order them double, triple. They don't care.
Food.
You don't care.
You get sloppy drunk and just eat.
You just get sloppy drunk. You're on the beach. The water is crystal blue. The sand is white. It's awesome.
Yeah, it's tough to argue anything all inclusive.
Yep.
Like
if you guys can afford it, if you just want to chill, worry about nothing.
That's what I'm saying. Like if you want to rage, you go to like Nashville, Vegas, like shit like that. But if you just want to like get drunk on a beach or like whatever, you just find all inclusive joint. And you're good.
We actually found Cabo. It was like a whole like in Cabo, a whole like you're talking about the insulated whatever. And I think we got it like at an auction. It was like $700 for like 2 people, 7 nights, and the flights. I mean, we got lucky on the auction, but you could probably, I mean, if you want to go all inclusive, you can find good deals, especially around like the spring break time. They have really good ones, and it's worth it 100% because you will spend less overall, and you don't have to worry about some of the safety issues too that you might get lost walking around, not knowing where you're at. And if you're getting drunk, you want to make sure you're in a place where if you do walk off, there's a fence.
Mitch, you've been quiet over there.
That was no. I mean, my favorite road trip. I mean, they're not too excited. Favorite road trip would probably have to be last year. I dragged my girlfriend along. We went to University of Nebraska, where my brother goes there. Saw a football game, and the next day drove to Kansas, watched a NASCAR playoff race. I enjoyed it. I think it was miserable the whole time. It was too nice to say anything, but that was a great time. I was drinking and watching NASCAR and college football all weekend, so can't go wrong with that. Best vacation spot, probably my favorite one was probably San Diego.
San Diego's gorgeous.
Right there, you got to see these miserable whales and tanks, which was cool.
That'd be a great band name, Miserable Whales and Tanks.
Yeah, I mean, you can't go wrong with California.
I'm not a big Cali guy.
I did learn something about New Orleans, and I should have known this too because it's been like 6 years since we've gone, or I've gone 6-7 years. New Orleans makes you want to come back and not drink for like a year.
The worst hangover of my life was in New Orleans.
Oh my God, yeah, it was.
And
sugary drinks. It's a sugary drinks too. That's just it gives you energy and it also dehydrates.
What's up?
I'm with you on the Cali thing. I've been there numerous times for the past like 3-4 years.
Yep.
It's dirty, like the LA, like the beaches, dirty as hell.
It's just
that's why I'm a beach guy in general. But like I lived
miserable out there.
For
Pacific Beach is really clean.
Last semester, I loved it, especially in February.
So you guys know I'm a big vibe guy. I feel like my vibe and Cali vibe just doesn't mesh. Like I've had good times in California, LA, San Diego, San Francisco. I've had good times, but like I don't know, it just never felt right.
Maybe you're more of a San Bernardino guy. No, I don't know.
I'm more of a let's go drink moonshine in
Barstow.
Mississippi and shoot our shotgun. That was a
Oh,
good
that's
trip.
Barstow then.
That was a
Good
really
Barstow.
good trip, dude. We were in a dry county in Mississippi, and they don't. And we go to my buddy's grandpa's house, and he's like, "All right, enough of this shit. You boys want to get drunk?" I was like, "You were just telling us how this is a big dry county." He's like, "Open that fridge." I opened the fridge, it's just all moonshine. I was like, "Fuck, let's go, Grandpa." I was like 22 years old. I was like, "Hell yeah, Grandpa, let's go." And then we get to his cousin's double wide where they live, and they're like, "You guys want some Venom?" It's like, "No, I
No.
don't. That sounds terrible." They're like, "No, it's this drink we made." And then it was basically like Hunch Punch. But I was like, "All right, drink half a red Solo cup of that." That's all I remember from that night.
That just reminded me. This isn't from 2022, but if you guys ever just want to turn your brain off and just watch something
Venom's a good
hilariously
movie.
stupid, Trailer
Right.
Park Boys on Netflix, just watch
Oh,
it.
yeah.
That show depressed me. It's funny, but like I just felt bad for all those people.
So you mentioned Nashville too, and the Dry County earlier. Mentioned Nashville as a spot to go. If you get out to Lynchburg, you can go to the Jack Daniels tour. But the ironic part is that the Jack Daniels distillery is actually located in a dry county. But you can buy gift whiskeys, which are whiskey. It's regular whiskey. It's a gift though, so it's a little bit more pricey. But you can actually buy. I mean, you can buy a bottle there technically, even though it's a dry county, and they give you these lemonades, before you start the tour. And if you're smart and you're wise, you can pop in there, grab your lemonade, and then sit on the little benches by the water, spice those things up, put your bottle back in your car, and then take the tour with a little bit in you. You don't get to actually taste any of the whiskey on the tour though.
And this guy's last question, he gave us a 5-part question. Last part of his question is favorite non-sports podcast.
Ooh, that's easy for me. That's the It's Always Sunny podcast, but Smartless comes in second.
And Always Sunny podcast is very, very funny.
They just did a live stage podcast. I mean, that's awesome. But that and the other one, Smartless.
For me, it's the I'm Fat podcast. Super biased, but all the other podcasts I listen to are sports related, so that's like the only non-sports one I listen to. But it's my cousin Jay's show. They go around do food reviews. They do fast food reviews. They do all kinds. They do like a March Madness thing with just food, and it's funny because like it'll be like the 8 seed is air conditioning and the 3 seed is like mashed potatoes, like just shit fat people would vote on. And so that's the I'm Fat podcast. Check it out.
Am I going to get yelled at, by the way, because I didn't say Yumper and Spo at the show? Or
Well, I was gonna say,
Graphic
besides
Pod?
our good friends at the Tainted Glove Network,
Yeah.
Yeah, like that was like an assumed, right? I mean, it was just going outside of the box.
ever since 2020, I've been on a wrestling nostalgia kick. I mean, depending if you consider wrestling a sport or not, I think it's more entertainment. But
I think it's more
OSW
entertainment.
Review, Old School Wrestling Review podcast, that's great. Attitude Era podcast, that's great. How to Wrestling.
I might fuck
How
with
to
that.
wrestling? Are you like out there practicing, like out back and like doing?
No, they just do like deep dives on
the eyes.
like wrestlers.
Although I'm not
some of the
kidding,
personalities.
lately,
Oh.
especially having a 2-year-old in the house, like if there's nothing on or whatever, I'll just like throw on an old Royal Rumble.
Yeah.
And it's
That's
just,
how I
that's
got
just
into it,
great,
though, because
dude.
2020, obviously nothing's fucking going on. And I'm like, and that's when I think they were giving out the WWE Network was still going on. And
Yep.
they're like, we'll give you guys like a free month. And I'm like, all right, let's all watch some old pay-per-views. And then after that, I'm like, oh, let me try to find like more of these older pay-per-views. And I found this. First, it was it's called the OSW Review. It's just like 3 Irish dudes who I think they started the channel back in like 2012, going through all the Hulkamania, like that era. And then they moved on to like the new gen. And then they've done like other stuff with like WCW, TNA, just shit like that. They're hilarious. I think so. How to, like, they do some deep dives on wrestlers like Vince McMahon, Paul Heyman, some of the other like bigger known personalities in wrestling. On the more like TV movie stuff, it's on YouTube, the Cosmonaut Variety Hour. Some fun shit, reviews type stuff there.
Huh.
That's pretty much it. Just listen to a lot of sports shit.
Yeah,
I mean, unless you guys watching, unless you guys are gonna listen to Anus, but that's like a very inside joke thing that you need to be in on.
Yeah, I'm all sports stuff pretty much besides the I'm Fat podcast.
Yeah.
Bill Burr's Monday morning podcast is Mike.
Bill Burr.
Yeah, oh yeah.
Yeah, Bill
Big.
Burr's a funny motherfucker. That dude's hilarious.
I've been meaning to check out Conan O'Brien's podcast.
Well
I-
worth it. The JR Smooth one's really good, and I mean the Bill Burr one was funny too. But his is good. Conan O'Brien needs a friend, probably be second on my list. If we're not-
I'm a big Bill Burr guy. I think Bill Burr's funny.
Oh, he's hilarious. I saw him twice.
I just like, I like how he. I mean, I think he's funny, but I also like how he does it, where like he's not really PC, but like he understands the perimeters of being PC, and like he somehow manages to like
Yeah.
not offend people, but still like do the old way of. It's just, I don't know. I think he's really smart. Did you guys see him on the Manning broadcast? He was a
Yeah.
guest on that. He was fucking hilarious,
He's
dude.
great.
I was
That
cracked
into
up.
itself, by the way, is a treat.
For the
on a
most
side
part.
note.
Some
I
some of
enjoyed it.
them are kind of brutal.
That one,
But
was pretty dry. That one was pretty good. I thought Obama was pretty funny on that. Well,
well, I mean, that guy's got more he's one of the most charismatic guys.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Mm.
But the last question, this comes from a very near and dear friend to the show, our boy Yumper. What are some of the realistic things that the Cubs and Sox can do to appease their fan base?
Ooh.
Go beyond the obvious of saying spend more money and whatever. But go ahead, Mitch.
have a fan convention during or if you cancel your fan convention, give a reason why.
Just set it on a
I
tee
mean,
for you.
I felt like Dwayne Wade in that LeBron picture of just throwing
The
that up
alley-oop,
off just throwing that up behind my head, like, and then doing that. But no, I mean that's the most obvious answer is. I think some of the other things, I think we've talked about it over the course of this year, is just, figuring out these long lines to get in and, space and pace with that. This new ticketing plan too that they rolled out, that's that's like insulting. That's just an excuse for them to start charging more for these sections where
Premium outfield reserve for bleacher tickets.
we're going to charge you a premium price. So
Wrigley
you can
would never.
You can go get a beer dumped on you by some guy
Cubs are
named
fucking
George,
stupid, that shit too.
and watch two broads fight. It's just like
The
what? No.
Budweiser seats or whatever.
I mean,
How
I did
about the people that were fighting over these are my spots. We've been here all rain delay. Remember that whole little feud that happened? That was fun.
For this question, I had like a more general thing. Just it goes beyond the Cubs and White Sox, just all of MLB. And I know it goes back to money, but like just figure out the whole MLB TV thing.
Yeah.
Like stop with the stupid ass restrictions. Like
blackouts.
You're trying to grow your audience, and you're just making it super hard. Like Kevin shouldn't be fucking trying to avoid viruses on his computer because he has to go find a fucking stream of the Cubs when they're playing out West Coast. Like
7 teams. 7 teams out here. We got the Diamondbacks, the Athletics, the Giants, the Dodgers, the Angels, and the Padres. Did I get the D-backs already?
Yeah.
So 60 teams, which means 12 baseball teams on any given night. I am not able to watch here in Vegas.
Isn't it worse than Iowa? Doesn't Iowa?
I was gonna say somewhere in the Midwest, like they just get fucked everywhere.
Yeah, Iowa gets it from all angles from
We're
MLB.
just like Iowa too. We're like 4 hours. I mean, it's a 4.5 hour drive to I think the Dodger Stadium from here.
I just don't get it. Like, you guys don't have teams. Wouldn't you want markets that don't have a team? Like,
get all the
is
games.
that like an untapped resource? Like,
and like that's the thing. People are willing to pay for it.
yeah.
Like people buy MLB TV, but then like they still get the fucking random blackout restrictions.
Yeah, if I didn't have blackout, I'd probably be more inclined to pay for it.
Yeah.
Instead of
It's
using
so
Reddit.
insane. Like they see the success that like why do the Cubs have such a huge fan base? Why do people all across the country know about the Braves? Because like they're just on TV all the time.
Yeah,
and people.
And I get it. It's not the same. Like you don't have like TV's not the same with all the different streaming and all the different ways to watch live TV. So whatever, but like
make it more accessible.
MLB blackouts is the dumbest thing.
Like, yeah, that's the thing. You would think that they would make it easier because then you can just be on your phone streaming.
You want to oversaturate. You want to oversaturate the market with your product, not undersaturate it. Like you want it to be like out.
It shouldn't be hard to watch a baseball game.
The IP addresses, like, why does it have to matter that we're Vegas? For example, like, how is it? Why? It doesn't make any sense. I mean, maybe I understood early on before the technology evolved, but it's been this way ever since it started. That how can you not figure out using IP addresses at this point this is Las Vegas, and that's freaking LA, and that's San Diego, and that's San Francisco. I mean, it's the Bay Area. I mean, that's a
And
6 hour, 7-8 hour drive.
This
Depending.
goes with it too. And I mean, I know the NFL does it, but I mean, NFL is king. What are you going to do? But like one of the most popular things like on Twitter that we see is like NBA highlights, right? And that's because the NBA doesn't care if you post a highlight of whatever, like a crazy dunk or whatever. MLB, you put like a 3-second clip. You're like risking just lifetime ban on your account. Like it is so stupid.
We broadcast the Cubs game for a second during one of our live casts.
Well, I get that.
Yeah,
I get
Big
that.
Boss
But
freaked out on that one.
It
I
was a
started
whoopsie.
getting, my phone got blown up. Tell them they can't be doing this shit.
I get that one, but like just just let fans fucking enjoy your product. Like
It's so simple. I don't get it. Like
It's like old man works. If you want
it's the whole grow the game thing. Like,
and then another thing for the Cubs specifically, I don't know, the 7th inning stretch. I think they stopped doing it a little. I don't need the celebrities in the booth for like the next half inning. I think they did stop doing that more often. So keep not having the random celebrity in the TV booth when like I'm trying to will the Cubs to a 3rd run in a game.
Do you know what I would like? You know what I would enjoy? If it's like, especially with the Cubs, but other broadcasts can do it too. And White Sox fans, I wouldn't because you got a great team. But I would love the Cubs to bring back the old first 3 innings are the TV broadcast crew, and then the middle innings are your radio crew. And then,
no, I hate that.
Oh, give me 3 innings of Pat Hughes, please.
Okay, I'm fine if you just want to make Pat Hughes the guy on marquee, but like the Cubs kept having a 3-man booth like with random people every weekend. I didn't like it. It was like Ryan Dempster would be on like Tuesdays and Wednesdays, and then Joe Girardi would come on like Thursday, Friday, or Saturday.
Glanville.
It's like
it's basically what the Sox do now because Jason's pulled into like every possible direction.
Yep, not a fan of
he's
Boo.
gonna be gone. I'm surprised he hasn't left already.
I was gonna ask,
Be
has there been a deal? Because like, wasn't the whole he still doesn't have a deal with the Sox? Jason Benetti. Like, I think him and Steve Stone are technically free agents.
No, I think they're coming back this year. For this year at least, but
hey man, Jason's getting that money. He's about to do an NFL game.
Dude, he does college football, college basketball, NBA games.
But he's about to do NFL this week.
Yeah, he does everything. But that's why I'm saying, as Sox fans, we're used to like, oh, it's Jason and Steve is the mainstay, but Jason goes and does all this shit now. So it's like Steve and they mix it up a lot.
Steve Stone doesn't want to go to Florida, so it's Gordon Beckham.
You guys went from word salad.
I don't mind Gordon Beckham in the booth.
You got like one broadcaster that's like once people unless you're a Sox fan, you want to drill your eyes out, and then you got like Benetti who like is universally just.
I loved Hawk. Hawk's the guy that got me into baseball, and I know like why people that don't like the White Sox don't like him, but he was one of the guys that got me like when I was younger, like listening to games, got me into baseball.
I think Hawk Harrison is just like what we say about players that we don't like. That like if they're like on another team, you hate them, but if it was your team, you'd probably love them. I think Hawk falls into that category.
Because I love a broadcaster that's saying what I'm thinking as a whole.
That's Harry though.
Harry would be terrible. But for calling games for your team, I didn't mind. Jason's like pure broadcasting talent. Jason's obviously not better.
I mean, no one's better ever will be better than the man who we just lost this past fall out in LA. He's been too good.
Ben?
Ben, yes.
He's talking about I mean, I loved Harry Carey for a lot of reasons, but
he's better with the Sox.
Back to this year though, like people shit all over Gordon Beckham in the booth. I didn't mind him at all.
He got better.
Yeah, he definitely got better. I feel like Steve Stone's gonna retire soon, and Jason's gonna go off to do his thing, and I think that's why Len took the radio job to start with the promise that he'll probably get the TV booth. I mean, that's not a bad transition at all.
Right.
Oh no, you lose Steve Stone. Here's Len Casper. It's like I make that deal.
Unlike wearing jeans. to work every day since
I
he
mean,
was
make
forced
this
to dress
through
up for the Cubs.
camera up. I mean, but I think we'll get Lancaster, and then I don't know who else will be with him.
Gordon Beckham.
No, he signed with the Braves. He's out of the White Sox booth. He's on
Gordon
the
Beckham's with the Braves now.
he's on the Braves network now.
With
Oh.
Chip?
Yeah, and they gave him like a bigger role,
Huh.
like permanent role.
Good for Gordon. Good for
Chip's
Gordon.
good too. I enjoyed Chip Carey as a Cubs broadcaster before he went on down there. His dad, Skip, was rough to listen to sometimes.
Wait,
on
yeah,
CBS.
who the
And
hell?
his dad was on, man. It was more
Yeah,
but-
who would be next up for the White Sox color to replace Steve Stone?
I don't know. 'Cause
Brzezinski?
You would get Line.
I think it would be AJ Przinsky. Yeah,
That'd be rough sell. He really shit the bed during the playoffs.
it'd
You
be
throw
Len
Ozzie in there,
Casper and AJ. Yeah,
Ozzie can then use the regular game broadcast to lobby for the manager's job. If you did
Yeah, I couldn't.
that way.
I don't think Ozzy can do a whole game. I'm just saying like, it'd be too hard to understand. Wimpy's very retired. Wimpy ain't coming back to shit.
I did enjoy Wimpy. Whenever he subbed, though, I do like him.
Hawk and the Wimperoo. I mean, that was just. That was
they
just
should make
broadcast
like
gold.
the Hawk cast. Just
Sit
give
down
him
and
give him a
talk.
second TV channel for that. Give him on like the second NBC Sports Chicago channel.
That'd be a good question though. I'll tweet that out because I want to see what people's answers are. I'm gonna say like, if Stone retired and Jason went on to do, he's like the ultimate announcing play-by-play
Yuri.
utility man. Um,
Who's your broadcast team?
yeah, and it's got to be. I mean, for me, it's a no-brainer. It's Len Casper and
Yeah, I think you have to be like who would
The heir
Len Casper
apparent
be with?
color commentary job or
Yeah.
something.
Like who would replace Steve Stone basically?
yeah, who would? Yeah, that'd be interesting. Frank Thomas.
Frank
maybe?
Thomas.
I was thinking that.
Oh, there is no contract right now in place for Stone and Benetti currently.
Ooh, I knew it.
Or Mr. Aloha, Mr. Hand.
They spent all the money on
They
unintended.
You
got
wanted
Clevenger,
Zach
you
Levine back,
lose
so
Sandy and Stone.
Yeah, it'd be
You
interesting.
like your rotation. No one's gonna be able to talk about it.
Oh,
Be
and this
very
is going to
interesting.
sound mean, but we're talking about what you would want to change, and we're talking about the broadcast. And I kind of hate it because like it feels like piling on, but like it's happened a lot for the past couple of years. But the Cubs brought on Taylor McGregor to be like Marquis sideline reporter,
I don't know anything.
and
about
her segments are just brutal, man. Like sideline reporting, I get it. It's obviously in other sports, it does work in MLB sometimes, but the segments that she has during Cubs games just take you out of it so much that you get annoyed anytime she like comes back on because you're like, why? What? No one cares. What you're
The bowling pin in the middle of the second inning.
like I think was it last year? I think it was in 2021. So first of all, like it's July. The Cubs traded away all our favorite players. The team is garbage. And then you have like Taylor McGregor in the fourth inning talking about like some player on the Pirates and their childhood. It's like I don't care. Like get off the TV.
Yeah, I can't say that I know who she is.
I have no idea who she is.
You know, she's just like she's part of the she's like the sideline reporter for like on a marquee for Cubs games. And like, yeah, it's not good.
Okay. I remember her.
You could put her in a police lineup right now. I couldn't pick her out. I don't think I watched one game on Marquee Network.
She does eat food a lot, doesn't she? She does. She's kind of a champ there, doesn't she? Eat food on occasion. Like it's like wow.
It's just like, I mean, it's basically. I guess you can't really blame Marquee. Cubs are shit. So what else are you going to talk about?
All right, I'm
Go
putting
Cubs.
out my Casper tweet.
Well, who would you want to? So Lancaster.
See, that's the thing is I don't know. I really don't know.
Bring DJ back in the booth.
There you go.
DJ's got a really good job on the radio right now. I think he really likes his setup.
Like, Zoe and Mitch, would you want it to be a former player or somebody from the outside, like outside of the organization?
I don't think it needs to be a former player, if I'm being honest. They're good. They're good. But
Okay.
I think Frank Thomas would be okay. He did, but he didn't
he wouldn't do it though. Like I don't think he would.
Yeah, he's another guy that's probably like, I don't really need to do this shit. Like I'm rich as fuck. Like,
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe get me to do it. Just throwing that out
There you
there.
go.
They would just need someone who has a very quick finger on the bleep button.
Who else is like a Sox legend?
It's got to be like, I don't know. It's someone that was good, that like everybody likes, but like wasn't like a superstar. You
What's
know what
Steve
I mean?
Lyons doing? Is he still around?
Fuck, still trying to find pants that fit.
Because wasn't he was like on the national broadcast for Fox?
Yeah, he was.
Jim Comey.
Jim Tomey, there you go.
I think he'd be too boring.
Yeah, that'd be perfect though, because like baseball, like it is.
I don't think it could
baseball
be
is kinda
Jack
boring.
Medallion. I think Jack McDowell's a little too controversial in this.
Yeah, Jack might be a tough. He'd be
This-
complaining about too much during the
This
broadcast.
current climate we live in today. I think. I don't
Hey,
think Jack
you
McDowell.
go to Mitch Kaminsky's Twitter and you'll find a pretty good interview pinned at the top there. Jack McDowell. Gonna kill 45 minutes. He is controversial, but when he gets going, he doesn't like about baseball. It's pretty entertaining.
That's the thing, though. I think Jack McDowell would get canceled like
Oh yeah, no doubt. No.
first 25 games of the season. I'd have to really think about this. I
Don't
tweeted it out.
On a pitcher staff.
Jermaine Dye, does he do media?
I don't think
What's
he
he up
does.
to?
I think Jermaine kind of faded off, and
Good for
Bobby's.
him.
Oh no, he's managing.
He's the manager, like the independent league, right?
so it's funny. Although we were talking about him, our good boy, I don't think he wants me to use his legal name on the air, but he goes by Tony DeMimbo on Twitter. He said, "Move Lennon JD to TV, McKnight, and someone like Brian Anderson on the radio."
Okay. Okay.
And then Ken WO just said Gordon Beckham did a good job. I hate it when I agree with him.
Can't have him though.
No one's mentioning the most versatile player or person in the White Sox recent history. I mean, you could probably throw Leary up there too. Leary would be.
Yeah, everyone would be happy. Leary.
Make him earn that contract.
Yeah, he's got to be a jack of all trades. Today, you've got Thursdays and Fridays, bud. All right, so hop on up.
And Sunday, you're hitting fourth.
Yep. Mm-hmm. Be the first player.
Got to earn that $3 million somehow, man. You got to earn that paper somehow.
Isn't it 5?
I just try to say better numbers, so it feels good.
No more questions?
That was it from the fans.
Dang.
We're going to be doing this a lot the next couple months. So, Mitch, you got a NASCAR minute for us?
I do. It's not as
boy,
good
let's play your music, bud.
Play the man's music.
And hopefully next week I'm not so congested because I can hear my own voice and I want to punch myself about it.
I don't even know what you're talking about, so.
NASCAR Minute with NASCAR Mitch.
All right. There's no games for you guys this week. I decided in the spirit of the holidays, since Festivus was last week, I would air my grievances from the 2022 NASCAR season as quick as possible because you guys probably won't know what the hell I'm talking about. All right, number one, my biggest grievance right now is why the hell is Chase Elliott the most popular driver every year? He's got the personality of a wet napkin. He doesn't talk to the media. He's good, I guess, but I mean, he shouldn't be that popular. You never hear him talk, and he's boring as hell. So that'd be my biggest grievance. Number two, I can't go wrong with Joey. Sorry, they're putting up photos of Joey trying to throw me off, and it's working. Number two would be too many road courses. You know, I'm all for the road courses, but especially Indianapolis, they got to go back to the brick yard. It's an iconic track. You got to go back to that. Number three is going to drivers that are popular. Bubba Wallace. I don't know why everyone hates Bubba Wallace. Well, actually, I do know why, because it's NASCAR. But, I mean, the man had one of his best seasons, and he's getting trashed on every year. Michael Jordan's owner. What's not to like? And he kicked Kyle Larson's ass in the middle of a race. You got to love that. It brings entertainment value to the sport. Number three, if I'm airing my grievances, I think that the Fox broadcast is terrible. Tony Stewart is not a very good commentator. They got guys making like random noises up there. Mike Joy, you know, he was once great, but now he's kind of old, and you know he doesn't have he's always constantly getting interrupted. So that's a disaster. Surprise, the NBC broadcast a lot better. See, is there any other big grievances I had with NASCAR from this past season? Well, Kyle Larson not liking Ross Chastain's move in Martinsville. That's hypocritical. He's tried the same thing. He just couldn't pull it off, but he thinks he's hot shit because he won Driver of the Year in 2021. Ross Chastain's move was great. So what are you complaining about? And I think the last one would be, this is my biggest grievance. They announced there's going to be a race in Chicago, right? And all these NASCAR hillbillies that haven't left their hometown, they're like, oh, we can't go to Chicago. It's dangerous. The car's going to get hijacked. There's gun violence. Well, they had a race down in East St. Louis, which was, terrible neighborhood too. So they had no problem going there, and now they have a problem going to Chicago. So I think it's a little hypocritical. There you have it. That's my airing of grievances from the 2022 NASCAR season.
I feel good about it. Good about it. My only grievance with NASCAR is that we didn't get more NASCAR minutes this year.
Yeah, see?
Not enough.
Not enough NASCAR minutes.
We'll have a full year.
Hey, it's coming back in February. Daytona 500. It'll be back in full force.
Oh, we can use that playback app where you can watch a NASCAR race with me.
Yeah, there we go. Aldo could also win $100 from that race if Cody Ware wins the Daytona 500.
That's right.
Won the earlier competition. So
Win that game.
there we go.
Yeah, you guys got anything?
So
else?
you missed out on NASCAR trivia. That was fun. I remember.
No,
that.
I did it.
You did?
No, he wasn't there for the retired number one.
I
We
was
did
there
it
for
last-
retired.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
As we put a bow on 2022, you guys got any final statements? Next week we can do resolution type things, but anything to close out with?
I would say this just for you and for Aldo. Mitch probably doesn't give a shit. He'll probably mute it, but I really think the Cubs should sign Eric Hosmer and Trey Mancini.
This Padres pitch is shitting bricks right now. Why? Because Danny fucking Burgess is up and back. Guy just ordered Shake Shack straight to the dugout.
I'm sorry, were you saying something?
What's going on, everybody? It's K-Fids. Sorry.
Oh, yeah. Look at that. Ross Chastain sending it around the wall. Oh, that's another grievance. You just reminded me of one. Okay, so Denny Hamlin, right? He talks all this talk after getting wrecked in St. Louis. He's like, oh, I'm going to pay Ross Chastain back.
Yeah, wasn't there supposed to be a big fight?
He's got it coming to him. Then literally a week later in Georgia, or 2 weeks later, he gets wrecked again. So now he's fuming, and everyone thinks he's going to pay him back. All year he's talking all this stuff. And, he slightly doored him at Pocono and ran him into the wall. But if Ross lifted, it wouldn't have really been wrecking him. Like, oh, that was the payback. It's like, that's not payback. I want to see him wrecked on a straightaway, like Hook, and clearly wrecking him. Not wrecking him, like, he did it with like a scalpel. I wanted to see like Sledgehammer Denny Hamlin. Like Dale Earnhardt, he ain't taking that shit. Denny Hamlin talking all this stuff. Oh, he's going to pay for it. Didn't do anything. Ross Chastain was in that position to have that cool move because Denny didn't retaliate in the playoffs when it would have hurt him the most. So, don't talk like, oh, yeah, I'm so tough. I'm Denny Hamlin. And then not do anything except slightly tap his door at Pocono and then call that your evening of the score.
Perhaps revenge is a dish best served cold in this next season when it's not as important.
They keep good memory. I hope that's right. But
I'm all about NASCAR fights.
And just hitting the buttons.
There you go.
That one caught me off guard.
I'm not gonna lie. Usually, I try and stay pretty focused in the last NASCAR minute. This week, you did get me.
Yeah, we're gonna have to reload some new pictures for 2023.
I'm gonna have to get the entire NASCAR roster and just have entire.
I always laugh when the Point Break picture. The Point Break picture.
How is that on there?
I don't remember.
Yeah, why is that on there?
Yeah, like
who knows?
Because this is on here too, which is a glorify. I mean, he doesn't have pre-neck beard. Kyle Orton.
Yeah.
You've got was that like Sid Luckman?
Yep.
Sid the Kid.
Well, gentlemen,
That was no
I think
chin.
it was a great year. I think
What's going on, everybody?
That's not me.
some pretty big leaps forward as a show. We added Mitch to the roster, which was a big pickup. So all in all, I think 2022 was a great year. Appreciate you guys doing this with me every week. Appreciate everybody listening. listening every week. We saw a significant increase in our numbers across the board, and we really appreciate that. The best way to help the show moving forward is first and foremost subscribe to the YouTube channel and get all your friends to subscribe. When you go to a New Year's Eve party, just like start taking people's phones and start subscribing to the channel. That's something we're really going to focus on in 2023. We're going to be doing a lot more contests, a lot more giveaways. I heard Mitch is going to open up a kissing booth, so we got all that going coming up. Also, I think we wanted to have a little bit more guests in 2023. So if there's someone you want to see, talk with us or whatever, we're very open to suggestion on this show. If you guys haven't figured that out yet. Yeah, that's pretty much all I got. I'm gonna go pound NyQuil and hopefully not cut my nose off.
It's starting
So-
to sound more and more like a Muppet the worse it gets. Too.
It's so bad right now, and the 2-year-old is just a fountain coming out of his face. It's just snot, just nonstop, and he's laying in my bed right now on my pillow, so that's gonna be fun.
Nice.
Yeah, for NASCAR Mitch. Wait, we also, you guys have a week to think about this, but is this the end of Mitch's rookie year? Is he no longer the rookie starting next week, or is there a service time thing and he's got to be a rookie until he does 1 year?
I think you round up.
Well, yeah, I think the service time, because like once you play a certain amount of games, you're no longer considered a rookie.
Yeah,
So I think
I
He
think he's
started
not.
in what, May? Did you join us in like May?
Yeah.
I
That
don't
makes
think
it
he's.
more than 6 months. That's you're right. That's a year.
I
That's
don't think we could call him the rookie anymore.
service
not
time.
a rookie. No.
So you got that going for you there, Mitch.
You better not have a sophomore slump, Mitch.
I'm just
Make
happy
sure-
about another contract. I appreciate getting pulled off the scrap heap in a mid-season acquisition. It's like an Elvis Andrews type pickup.
There you
It
go.
really was.
You still have to take it up with ownership though to make sure that they don't want to play some
Yeah,
service
that
time
is true.
shenanigans. I mean, some owners have been known to do that, so we want to make sure
Well,
that
like Elvis Andrew, though, if you kind of come back to the meme of being shit, I'm gonna be very disappointed in you, Mitch. I'm expecting big things out of you next year. So,
sophomore jinx.
all right, I think we just solved that. Mitch is no longer a rookie. So, congratulations, bud.
Glad something productive came out of this show.
That's still up for debate. So for the last time, the rookie NASCAR Mitch, the good Reverend K Fids, he's Aldo. I'm Zoe. Don't be a dickhead. Don't drive drunk on New Year's Eve. Be safe, everybody. We want to talk to you next week. Happy New Year, fuckers.
Happy New Year.
Go buy a sweatshirt.
See you next year.
See you.